This is a big day. This is a really big day. Actually, it's been a big, like 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
For channel program, for you, you just joined the team, right?
Yeah,
It's a pretty big time right now. Um, so I guess we'll give it a couple minutes, but I wanted to catch everyone up on some of the news first. I know we've talked about this in our different social media streams. But Steve, do you mind introducing yourself and kind of your journey?
absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Taylor. I don't know if the right way to say it is present tense or past tense, but I was the host and founder of RocketMSP, and I've been an IT professional since 2002. I started my own MSP in 2009. I started making content for MSPs in 2017, and now I get to join the coolest company in the MSP channel. I'm so pumped to be here, part of channel program. My title is channel content producer. So I am going to be I'm going to be involved in a lot. You guys are going to see me a lot in the future moving forward. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. That's exciting. I'm super stoked to have you on. I know that the MSPs, the vendors in our community, everyone's going to get a lot of value from having someone like you on board. Obviously, Channel Program recently, acquired Rocket MSP, and brought Steve into the fold, into the mothership as it is. And then, on top of that, we just, announced some other great things on LinkedIn. I'll let you guys go find those. But a huge thing just got announced, and I'm gonna cover that in a moment. I want to introduce myself. I'm Justin Gilbert. I'm the VP of Sales here at Channel Program. I've been in the channel a really long time, working with MSPs, helping to enable MSPs, build their businesses, build sales programs, build channel programs, all sorts of things. And this is really an extension of that, right? It's around helping to enable MSPs to be more effective at their own business operations. That's what this new feature is all about. And so today we're going to be talking a little bit about something called contract management, vendor contract management specifically. And so we're going to dive into that in a moment. Is there anything we need to cover, Steve, before we start getting into that?
well, it does. I actually have a question for the audience, for the MSPs watching today. How are you keeping track of your vendor contracts? Not only the fact that they exist, but how much you're spending, when they expire, when the contract renewals need to be dealt with. How are you tracking that? Leave something in the comments for us because I'm dying to know.
Yeah, and what's interesting, while you guys are putting that in there, we were at Schnizzfest this week. Matt Solomon, Kevin Lancaster, our two founders, and myself were there, and we got to hear from MSPs, and what we got to hear was that it was an interesting mix. We were pleasantly surprised, for ourselves, obviously, and about what we heard from them, which is most of them are managing them in a really manual process, right? This was pretty, this is pretty much what we expected. But one thing I would say is that for MSPs, if that is the case for you, if you are, managing on an Excel sheet, if you're, kind of just manually keeping track of it, you have a couple of people at your company doing this for you. Honestly, that's what we've heard too. We've heard it from almost every MSP. There are a few, of course, we've heard use, was it IT Glue, for documentation purposes, and they kind of roll up some contracts inside of there. But the vast majority were not using really anything, and they were using some systems for some things and some for others, and so it was kind of a piecemeal situation. All right, so with that, let's dive in. I believe, see if I start sharing.
You're already sharing, buddy. So all we
Cool.
got to do is bring you in.
All right. So
There you
this
are.
is, for those MSPs who haven't seen this, this is NaviStack, right? NaviStack is a service that we launched about 4.5 months ago to the MSP community. And it allows for the first part of what we're going to cover. We're going to cover, vendor contract management, but it covers the vendor management portion of that, right? It allows an MSP to be able to manage all of their vendors all in one place, to be able to visualize all the vendors. And this is so important when you have multiple people at an organization, at an MSP. You have salespeople, engineers, owners, billing people, and everyone has a different insight into which vendors they're working with. And so this provides a top-down view of all the vendors you're working with. And I'm not going to go too in-depth on this portion here, but the great thing is that as you add more vendors to this platform, it starts unlocking certain benefits for you, right? You can start seeing roll-up messaging across all of your vendors. So instead of having to rely on the 30 to 40 different emails from your 30 to 40 different vendors about every time they have a new webinar or a new piece of collateral or something similar, this allows you to see it in one place. We have all the upcoming events across those vendors. We have partner portals inside of here as well. So as an MSP, you don't have to log in to 30 to 40 different portals to be able to access the marketing and sales collateral across the partners you work with. And so you can come in here, grab some content, co-brand it, and then everyone on your team has access to that. You can create folders and you can create, unique, structures just for your team's needs. So it's a great platform. It also, there's a ton more you can do with it, but that's really where we started 4.5 months ago. And, in that time, I think, Steve, there's been, I think it's just over 18,000 products have been added by MSPs in here since that time.
There's a lot of products, and I know I'm new to the team, but just hearing some of the metrics, we've had over 1,200 unique MSPs set up their NaviStack, and I just want to clarify, NaviStack is free, okay?
Yeah.
And so it's free. You hop in here and you add all the vendors you work with, and we don't just mean the IT glues and Kaseyas and Autotasks and ConnectWise, right? We also mean QuickBooks and Canva,
Mhm.
uh, Sign Now, Adobe Creative Suite. We want you to track all of your vendors in here. Um, because we want to give you a central location to just have that information, because as your MSP becomes more operationally mature, that's information that you need to have at the ready.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And once you create this, once you log in for the first time and use this, you become the administrator for your account. But then everyone on your team, you can let everyone on your team have access to the same view. So we talked about NaviStack, but let's get to the meat of the situation. Let's talk about the thing we launched just this past Sunday, which is vendor subscriptions or contract management. Right. This is the first time in our industry where, as an MSP, you can log in here. And when you log in here, you can add, if you've added these to your NaviStack already, you can start adding your subscriptions and start having a bird's eye view of all of the vendors you work with. So in one place across all the different types of, services you offer. And as Steve mentioned, importantly, it's not just those pass-through services that you're offering, but it's the services that you're offering or that you purchase, like QuickBooks and Canva and those other types of services that eat away at your cost, or that cost you money, but you're not reselling them. Those can be listed and should be listed in here as well. And so right inside of here, I want to step you through what it looks like to add a subscription. And then I want to take you through, what the benefits that you get out of that are. And then, I also want to cover a little bit about what's coming next and, also how you can take part in this. So let's dive right in. Adding a subscription is extremely easy. There's a couple ways you can do it. So one, you can click add a subscription up here, or you can do this right next to one of these here from one of the vendors right in your stack already. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just click on VMS right here. So I'm adding them right here. I click, and so you can see it already populates with their information. I click next, and then I can start choosing the different options. So, whatever your term is with them, you might not even have a term. You choose your term. You choose your billing type, whether this is a usage-based, volume-based, even an NFR. You might want to keep track of an NFR. And then, the other big one here is, of course, billing frequency. How often are you being billed by them? And then we get into some really important parts here. There's the start date, which obviously would be before today in most cases. Your expiration date, your initial payment date, which once again can be in the past, and then your notice period and notice date. Now, notice date, I would say, is probably the most important part when you're talking about renewals, because this is something that if you miss this date, you likely will have to, you'll have certain penalties for missing a renewal, or you might have something auto renew. And so right here, you can then also put in notes to help you and your team keep track of, what you're trying to do with this contract. Now, that right there is already, huge. You can do some of this inside of an Excel sheet. You can't get things like reminders of, upcoming renewals, in an Excel sheet. You can't have a visualization that's easy to track on, how much your outgoing spend is. But the big thing here is add-ons. A lot of contracts have, different add-ons. So, you might have a piece of data hardware, and I'm going off the cuff here. So Steve, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and you should. If you have a piece of data hardware and then you add on some sort of service to that, that service might and likely does have a different start date, expiration date. It has potentially a different payment date, and also a different notice period and notice date. Now, this is important because when you're using something like Excel or you're using some sort of manual tracking process, tying something like that back to the parent subscription is incredibly challenging. And then trying to make sure that your team is aware of all of those child services underneath that parent is even more challenging. And so with this, you can add unlimited numbers of those.
Yeah, and I would say that, you know, a couple companies come to mind right away. ConnectWise and Kaseya. Sorry, ConnectWise and Kaseya. Both of these companies, they just have such huge reach. They offer tons of services. I know ConnectWise has everything from PSA and RMM to MDR and SOC services, I think. Kaseya's right up there. I mean, they've got VSA, their RMM platform. They've got their BMS platform, IT Glue, Rapid Fire Tools. So these companies, you know, as they make acquisitions and bring new brands into the fold, that would be a great way for you to use these add-ons because, you know, like you said, you might start with a Datto Cirrus BCDR in one of your clients. Maybe you add a second Cirrus, and now you've got a different contract end date, and now suddenly you've got 30 Cirrus devices out there and you have no idea what expires when. This is a great way for you to manage all of that under the umbrella of like the Datto contract here.
Yeah. And then, once you get to that next step, right, this is where you start getting into some of the flexibility around notifications. So you can start setting up how many days you need to be notified, or you want to, you want this notification to go out ahead of that. You can set your notice period, the amount of days. And so renewals and notices, you can get flexible there. You can start adding recipients as well for that. So once you've added all of that, at that point, you start then getting updates to your overall contracts cost, right? So, this was just launched on Sunday, and we've obviously filled this in with some test data here. But you can see, I can start seeing how much am I spending across my different categories. What is my total cost this month across those different categories? And what I would venture to guess is that you're likely going to be surprised in some of the costs that might be duplicative, right? Where you have spend across one product category, but across multiple vendors in that product category.
Mm-hmm.
As you mature,
we talked about operational maturity. So as your MSP grows and you start acquiring other MSPs, now you're acquiring all of their contracts as well. So this is a great way for you to have a consolidated view of all of the logos you guys are working with. So that way you can make strategic decisions on what products you're keeping and consolidating and all that as time goes on.
Yeah. So, what you get today is you get the ability to visualize for the first time your contracts. You get the ability to start getting a little bit of intelligence behind what you're spending. In addition to that, you start getting, the ability to take back control of your renewals. You get notified at the right time, so that way you can make, the correct decisions on what you want to do as a business for those renewals. And when you look down here, you can see how easy it is for your team to be able to quickly scan through and see, across all of these, which ones have things like add-ons. Like this one has an add-on, and it's because this little icon that's right here. So your team could, quickly come in here, see those add-ons, be able to come in here and view or edit, and they can start making, modifications if needed. They can see what's going on with it. That ability to see all of this in one place, there's so much power in that. This dashboarding view is the true strength of this platform. It really does make it very simple for you to kind of understand where everything is at. Now, we also have some other views as well, of course. You have the calendar view, which is a great view if you have someone who's managing all of your contracts. This is a great bird's eye view of what's coming up this month, the month after, etc. You have, at the top up here, you can change this from the next 180 days to I just want to see what's coming up the next 30 days. So you can change this nice and easily. You can export this CSV to be able to use in other capacities. And so it's fantastic as it is. And then there's also all sorts of ways where you can search. You can start searching over here. You can filter by vendors, by expiration date, by billing type. Maybe you're looking to look at how much you have going out in usage-based billing. So you have that as well. Lots of different options to be able to modify these views as you need. And so it's fantastic. Like, I mean, I think that in my mind, there's nothing like this that exists today, especially as easy as it is to use. And if you're using our NaviStack, the ability to then grab those vendors you've already added and start adding those subscriptions it's amazing. Now, we do have some things coming up here shortly in terms of new releases, because as I mentioned, this was just released on Sunday. So we have some new things that are going to be coming out soon. We have the ability to upload your contracts, right? Like actually put your contracts in this portal. We have the ability, in addition to that, to have more export options and even more reporting options. Right now we have some reporting that shows you at a high level, but we want to start giving you guys more business intelligence. One of the things that you'll see rolling out that we're really passionate about is something called benchmarking. We want to give MSPs the ability to start making decisions on what they're charging themselves based on what they're seeing from their peers. And so we want to start rolling out the ability for MSPs to be able to have insights like that around what they're charging versus the peers in their market. So you'll see things like that coming out in the future around this product. But for now, it's fantastic at helping you to visualize your contracts and helping you to take back control of your renewals. So I want to go into how you can take advantage of this, how you can start using this. But Steve, before I get to that, is there anything I missed?
Yeah. So I have a couple questions.
Sure. Oh yeah, sure.
One of the things, for those of you that don't know me, I like to ask the tough questions, and I'm going to do that today. I'll play bad cop a little bit here. So I used to track this in IT Glue.
Okay.
And IT Glue has the ability to do reminders. I
Sure.
can create. So it's going to take some work. You got to create a new. I forget what they're called, but like a new documentation type, and then you start adding all your stuff. Why should MSPs use this when they've already got a documentation platform?
Yeah, and I think IT Glue is fantastic, right? It's a fantastic platform. I think the biggest reason an MSP would use our platform versus that is the dashboarding, right? The ease of use and setup with ours is second to none. It's so simple to upload your content in there, your contracts very shortly. and to be able to start leveraging not just the subscription part of our platform, because that's just one part, but the entirety of our platform around being able to grab the contact information for your salesperson in the same spot as where your vendor contract management is, the ability to see your upcoming events, the ability to grab your marketing and sales collateral, all of that, because it truly is, if you think about NaviStack, it really is the holistic, vendor management platform. It does all of it, not just a single thing like, contracts. Contracts is a really important part of it. And so that's why I would say that, if you're going to choose one over the other, you would choose us because it's simple to use. The dashboards are fantastic, and, it's simple to set up. And also, it's a holistic approach, right? Like it's all about vendor management versus, doing just the document management part.
Excellent. Is there a way, like, I know some MSPs, they're using 120, 150 different products, right? So is there a way we can like import all that so we don't have to go through that wizard every time?
Yeah, so that's slated. That's actually the very next release that we're working on for the vendor management platform, is building out an import tool, so you can actually just import all of those all in one with a simple to use form. And I would
All right.
expect, I think from what I saw, that's either February or early March when they should expect that.
Cool. I'm sure I'll come up with some more questions for you.
Cool. So, as if you are interested, I'm gonna bring this up here. Can you bring that up for me? There we go. Cool. If you already have a partnership with us, if you already signed up as an MSP on our platform, signing up is extremely easy. All you have to do is go to channelprogram.com/subscription. And when you go there, you will see, the options that you have available to you. But you should be signed up first. Now, the great thing is you don't have to be, right? If you're not signed up, this will sign you up. This will actually, cut through all of that for you. And so, you have that option, right? And you'll see here that because I'm signed in, it says NaviStack is complimentary, and it is, right? Like I already have that. That is a free service. We're not changing that. We're not going to start charging for your vendor management side and the ability to access all of your marketing and sales collateral in one place, the ability to message your vendors. Right here, this contract management, we are right now offering a very low price point for this. And I say low because I'm assuming some of you have likely missed renewals. I'm assuming some of you have had a renewal that, auto renewed that you didn't want to happen. And those likely have probably cost you well over $1,000 in, a year. And this ability to be able to capture that, in addition to be able to also see when, you might be, spending, too much on a particular service because you already have another service that does the same thing. This right here for $99 a month is fantastic. And, you mentioned earlier about the importing option. One of the other things that we're going to be rolling out is integrations with PSA providers. Right now, this is priced at $99 a month, but it's not going to stay that way for very long, because once we roll those services out, we're going to increase that price. And so if you get this price now, you're locking yourself in. You're getting yourself a price that's either half or 1/3 of what it's going to end up costing. And so you get to take advantage of all the features, and every new update that we roll out, you'll still get to take advantage of those. And I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit. If you decide to sign up, I think I said the first 5 MSPs who watch this broadcast and decide to sign up, I will personally send you out one of my whiskey smokers. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's a thing I make, right? I make whiskey smokers. I usually give them out at different events for MSPs who we're talking with. And so if you sign up for the first 5, we'll keep track of it and I'll notify you. I'll just mail one out to you. You get a whiskey smoker, you get, some oak as well to be able to smoke your whiskey. I'll even do a FaceTime call with you and walk you through how to use it.
That's pretty cool.
So that's That's how you get into the platform. And it's simple, it's easy. You can start using it today. And in fact, if you already have NaviStack, you can start importing those subscriptions in within minutes.
Now, a lot of MSP business owners are looking to exit in like 3 to 5 years.
Oh yeah.
So, can you explain how this could help with valuation?
Yeah, that's a really good. Okay, so that's a really good one. I'm going to go back to this screen, right? When you're thinking about exiting your business or selling your business, you might or might not know this, but every single time you go and and you're presenting your business to a particular either an equity company or another MSP, they are going to ask for every contract you currently have. When they're doing their due diligence, they're going to want to see every contract you have. They're going to want to see every single subscription, all of those renewal dates. They're going to want to dig in very deep. When they do that, when they're digging in with you, that process, if you don't have it, that process could take you weeks or months to be able to dig up all of those contracts. Having everything in this one place solves for all of that, right? You instantly have, sorry, I guess I should take off that filter I had there. You instantly have access and availability to all of this and can provide this directly to them. And as I mentioned, the ability to upload contracts, that's coming over this next month, I think it is, month and a half. And when that comes out, you'll have your contracts, you'll have your renewal dates, you'll have all of your subscriptions all in one place to be able to present to that auditor. That savings in time and frustration alone is worth well more than $99 a month. So if you are looking to get acquired or to sell your business over the next 3 to 5 years, take the time and set this up now before you end up having to pay $200 to $300 when we have all of those other features and benefits rolled out in here.
Man, this thing's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there really isn't anything like it. When we showed it at SNISFest this week, every single MSP was blown away because there's nothing else like this in our space, and it really does help the MSPs. And I can't tell you everything we're working on, but some of the things that are going to roll out over this next few months for MSPs on this platform, I mean, it's going to be game changing. The business intelligence we're going to try to feed into MSPs is second to none.
Well, I got to say, I wish I was running an MSP today so I could play with it. You guys know me. I love shiny objects, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys should sign up, check it out, get all your vendor contracts in there, and figure out what you can do with those vendor contracts after you've got them all entered.
Yeah, and once again, if you want more information, you want to step through something else in person, my team is happy to help you out. We can step you through more stuff, but signing up is simple and easy through channelprogram.com/subscription. Thank you everyone for attending. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to partnering with you.